Hey, everybody, it's Lance Dawson. I am back in studio today with my main amigo, Andrew Stewart. We're here for another episode of Backstage Lowdown. Today in the studio, singer, songwriter, Canadian prolific artist extraordinaire, Danny Michel. This guy sings, he plays guitar, he writes songs, he's traveled the world, he's gone all over Canada, all over Europe. And today we've got him in the studio with us. So here we go. By the way, before we go, don't go anywhere because I also need to tell you that this episode is sponsored by Look Digital Marketing. From stunning websites to full service digital marketing, they help your business shine online. See the difference with Look Digital Marketing. You don't have to look anywhere else. Now you can go. Here we go.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Danny.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey, how are
bud.
you?
Good.
I'm a bit of a unshaven mess. I'm on holidays.
Just like how all three of us who were all born in the 1900s act like this is our first day on technology. Hello? Hello? Is anybody there? Is this working? Is this thing on? It's good to see you,
Uh,
Danny.
you too.
So, are you still here in Ontario, or did you make it to Belize?
Oh, no, I didn't make it yet. No, I'm at home. Ontario.
Now
Sweet.
that now that the picture is widened out and I see all the snow in the background, I'm going to say he's not in Belize, Andrew. Just
I've actually got a camera in front of me, so I can't see the whole the whole picture. Don't worry,
Yes,
we're gonna get through this.
yeah. Thanks for being with us, Danny. I appreciate it.
no problem. Sorry this took a while to get going,
Well, you're a
organized.
busy guy. I'm sorry we missed you when you had a big tour to promote, and I take it that went well though.
Yeah, it was great. So, yeah, it was great.
You're on the road with Steve Poltz. Um, you guys have done a bit of work together in the past, haven't you? Like this isn't just the first time that you guys have been touring together.
No, we've done two tours together and we've done a bunch of festivals together and we recorded one song together. But mostly I met Steve at a festival called Eaglewood about 15 years ago, and we were put in a workshop together. You know, when you're on
Oh
stage with
yeah,
other people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of like we were set up on a blind date because the our friend Liz, she was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this Poltz guy. You got to meet him." And same thing she said to him, and then we joked that he got his chocolate in my peanut butter or whatever. We just kind of hit it off.
For those of you not born in the '80s, that was a reference to an old commercial for Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, yeah. As I said it, I bet no one knows what I'm talking about.
Well, we
Yeah.
know, and that's the important part. I can't talk to anybody under 30 anymore. They don't get all my pop culture references. It's all
You
over.
remember, do you remember on Family Guy when they did that commercial, the chocolate and your peanut butter, where they crash into each other and then they combine it, and then the one guy tastes it and he's like, "I'm gonna make millions," and he goes and shoots the other guy.
I didn't see that episode. I've seen a lot of them, but I haven't seen that one. I will spend
That's,
nights sometime just
that's so
rewatching
dark.
shorts from
Ah,
their
that is
show.
that is dark. That's
Uh,
Kills
great.
him.
That's
the
so
idea
great.
is all mine.
Yeah. Oh man. So Steve, so you're on tour with Steve, but you must. How do you decide who to go on tour with, Danny? Because you've met so many people, and you obviously want. If you're going on tour with people, you want to get along with them, that sort of thing. Are they connected with your label somehow, or this is just I'm selecting this person or this band? How do you do that?
Uh, yeah, actually, I don't actually go on tour with people often. Like I'm trying to think when I've never gone on tour like with two acts, like we're playing the same shows, equal bill on stage together. I think this kind of like I mean I've done lots of touring where I'm opening for somebody, I
Right.
guess, or something like that. But yeah, it was well our friend Liz, who is like an agent, she booked Steve and works with me as well, and she just last year uh said let's try to do this run, and I like Steve a lot, and Steve I guess he's okay with me, and so we tried it out and it was a lot of fun, and then so this year came around and we were like, oh, we got to do it again, so we did it again. Yeah. It was
Fantastic.
there's no There's no big label story or anything. It's just like, hey, let's go play some shows. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I was
That's
just
sweet.
thinking of your stuff. I was just saying to Andrew, I was listening to Ghost Town the other day and really enjoying Don't Be So Hard on Yourself. And then for some reason, I was driving to work and I heard a commercial for Bell Mental Health Day is coming up. And I thought somehow these two things are connected. I don't know why, but I just loved your anthem and I thought it was great. And I just thought
Thanks. Yeah,
we should listen to that.
I was hoping that song could find its way into some like or into helping with some of those organizations or something, but it hasn't yet. No.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to just recommend it for people. If you're having a down day, you should probably just listen to this song. It's on Danny's album Ghost Town, so it's a good one.
It was my own like self-therapy song. I wrote it for myself when I'm having a hard day.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
it was somebody said to me, I was talking to somebody and it was just in a conversation. And they just looked at me and they said, Dan, you just don't be so hard on yourself. And I thought, it's such a great thing to it's such a great thing to say to somebody. And it's great to hear it. Like when someone says that to you, it does make you go, it makes you feel really good. It's like a hug. And it feels good to say it to someone too as well. So it's like, I don't know, it just kind of hit me that day. I'm like, what a simple, beautiful little sentiment. Yeah.
Well, the way you used it too wasn't just the hook in the song, but you used it as a callback. So that was the repeated message,
Yeah.
right? So you wrote a song and then the callback was Don't Be So Hard on Yourself, which I thought was really, really cool.
And the callback has a great story to it because what I did is I wrote the song and I kind of recorded a demo of it. And then before it was finished, I played at two festivals. I did the Canmore Folk Festival and I got the audience to sing the backup part. Like I just gave them like a click track and I
Right.
made them sing it. I was like,
I love it.
right. And then I did that. And then I did it at Guelph at the Hillside Festival,
Is
same
that?
thing. So if you're in your headphones, one side is the Canmore Folk Festival and the other is Hillside Festival, singing "Don't be so hard on yourself." Yeah,
That's a pretty good idea.
and
Brave too.
and no one got paid.
And there it
I
is. The
told them
secret.
not getting paid, and if you don't like this contract, if you don't like this deal, just remain quiet.
Right.
That's it.
There you go.
You don't want to
I,
be handing out nickels at the door on their way out.
Wow, there was thousands of people too.
yeah.
Adds
It is
up
it is
after
the
a
Canadian
while.
music scene, Andrew. I think it's pennies.
Oh,
Nickels
okay,
might
so
be a different country. I don't know.
I didn't know that we use those anymore.
Yeah, you're
Where
probably
are you
right.
guys?
We're
We're in
both in
Waterloo.
Waterloo.
Yeah, yeah. Hometown
Yeah,
for you, buddy.
yeah, I know. For a second I was like, wait, what's he talking? Okay,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why the connection is really back to you. Like, there's probably been about maybe four, maybe five different artists that we've interviewed over the last. We're now in a season five that keeps bringing up your name anytime that anytime that we say, "Oh, we're based out of Waterloo," kind of like, you guys must know Danny Michel, and they start the conversation like we're best friends already at this point, when in fact none of us have actually ever met each other.
Yeah.
huh.
Well, Danny, you and I kind of came up together, and I just said to Andrew because he was just asking me. I said, "Well, I've never met Danny, but I was playing the acoustic scene with Paul McLeod and Matt Osborne and sort of that era, but that was yours too, right? And I think Jacob Moon was in there, and there's a
Yeah,
few guys playing sort of the KW scene at that time.
me and Paul McLeod were like a duo for years. We played it like we used to do this thing at Mondays or Sundays or Wednesdays in Guelph at the Jimmy Jazz. We played for years. We did that. We actually went on the road a little bit. We went up to the Yukon together and played. And
Wow, Paul is a sweet, sweet guy.
here's to Paul.
Here's to Paul. Yeah, I think I met him. I was playing the Boathouse, and I don't know if he was playing there or there was a songwriters sort of a singer-songwriter festival, and he was kind of on the committee for that, putting that together. But anyway, no, really, really sweet guy. But yeah, we were always talking about how rich KW is in talent. So many people have come out of here.
Yeah, I was talking the other day to well, we remember there was that festival in the summer, Belmont Village Festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but I played that and it was like Strongman, Zabo, like everybody was there. Everybody played, and it was really cool. I really loved it because I guess um, like we're all older now, and we're all kind of still doing it, and we did okay, and so you're really like, and it made me just really happy for everybody. Like it made me when we were young and you're in your 20s, maybe you're like, I'm sure there's like, you know, some people are competitive and there's ego involved, and you're like you're growing and you're trying to learn who you are, and you go see other bands to kind of check out the competition and see like what's going on, and that it just felt like that's all done now, for at least for me and my feelings, we're just like, wow, I'm just so happy that like seeing, Rob still playing great, and Steve and everybody, and it made me just really kind of proud of that. And yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely. You're pretty like you've got a real social I guess I'll just say a social conscience. Anybody that follows Danny on social media, always trying to highlight different people in different areas of need. The latest, of course, I think is the LA wildfires. Do you have friends out there or people that you know that are
I have just I mean, I know a few people who live in LA who are musicians, so yeah, I just reposted that thing that
yeah,
I saw in
yeah.
case any didn't know. I mean, I'm sure. I already saw some other people reposted it. They're like, "Thanks, I didn't know." I've got friends, so I'm sure it goes links to somebody.
Yeah, I think it's probably very helpful for those that are in the music scene that need some help right now.
Yeah. So Danny, what's we'll get down to the interview here. What are you working on right now, and what are you most excited about with 2025?
Truthfully, right now I'm on a little bit of a break. I was just going to take some time off this month, but before the snow's gone, I'm telling myself, okay, I got to get in the studio and get working on some new stuff. So I've got
Yeah.
a few songs on the go. I find writing, I find it really hard actually. So it's kind of like I have to really force myself to do it. But that's the plan, is to get some new music out in the new year, and hopefully be doing some festivals and touring. I'm touring like a little less than I used to, in the sense that where I used to kind of I've just played since I was like 18. I've just played and played like this weekend, that weekend, this weekend, this weekend. And now I've decided like I really like this idea of like go out for like a run for 2 weeks, or like just play every night and then take a bit of time off and then play, like go in batches.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
find it's kind of like as the older I get, it's just a little simpler.
How come you find the writing part hard? I'm interested about that because you're so prolific. You've got a lot of songs. So what is the hard part about it? The discipline, the ideas? What's the
Well, I mean, I don't write that much, in the sense that like the record before the last one I made out was for the COVID, like before COVID. There was like 4 or 5 years in between those records. But I think when I was younger, I was. This is like, don't be so hard on yourself. I think when I was younger, I was just like, I would get excited by anything, and I didn't, and I'd be like, oh, this is great, cool, record it. This is great, cool, record it. When I look back now, I'm like, it wasn't that great. It was okay, but it wasn't great. And now I'm really like hard on myself, in the sense I hear, everything I write, I'm like, it's not good enough, man. It's like, I used to like feel like I'd have like 10 songs on a record, and maybe three were really great and seven were filler. And then I'd be like, I got to like where it was five were really great for me, like that I was
right?
how I felt.
Yeah.
Five for me were great, and five were filler. And now it's like I want 10 to be great. I want them all to be great. I don't want to have like, if a song's not, if it's not working and not magic, then there's a reason.
Yeah.
So I am really like, I've got millions of half finished songs, just millions, that are just like that I don't know. It's like trying to start a fire and you can't get the fire to start.
Yeah.
And and sometimes the fire just starts. So
Do you co-write it all with people?
not a lot, no. Um, which I guess maybe could help start the fire if I did, but I haven't done a lot of it. I haven't done a lot
Now,
of
do you
it.
generally draw from personal experiences, or are you creating creating stories to actually build a song?
Both. I'd say both. I mean, I do find like when I go traveling, all of a sudden I have like I get feel really inspired because it's really simple. Like if you just you're having a new experience, you're somewhere else, you're thinking differently, your brain is taking things in differently. You know, I always say like people who have their little writing workspace. This is where I sit and I've got
Yeah.
my pad and my paper and my guitar and my little recording, and this is where I work on songs. I don't. For me, that doesn't work. Like if I'm stuck, because I think when you sit in that spot you subliminally are looking at the same things. Your brain's not changing. It's just like I'm used to this spot. Whereas, I mean, I look at it like, that's when I get in my car, drive out to a country road, just pull over on the shoulder and start working on the song there.
Okay, so
And
that brings up a unique place where you're writing. Um, did you really write a like an album on a Russian icebreaker? And how does
yeah,
that come about? Do you just like, you know, reach out to Chris Hatfield and say, "Hey, you know what? I'd really like to go out and rent a Russian icebreaker and head north to do a little bit of writing. I want to feel inspired."
no, the way that happened was, but I was sure was lucky. Chris and his son were doing this like art project where they had brought like 10 people from around the world who were like photographers, filmmaker, writer, artist, musician, blah, blah, blah. And I was the musician they picked. And the thing was, we were went on this Arctic adventure for like 18 days or something. It was crazy. Um, and we were supposed to come back and share it with the world from our medium, right? So the
Right.
photographers had a heyday. And so we were supposed to, this was the project. And I got up there and I thought, well, what am I going to do? Like write a song about this? This is way too big of a trip to just write a song. And I thought I'm here for 18 days. Try to write one song a day. And and I only got about 8 songs out
But
of it
but
at the
even
end.
still, that's a pretty aggressive goal to try to write a song a day.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If you write songs and you play music, I guess it's not that crazy to just go sit down and do it. Like it's like a recipe. Just do it. And
Well, yeah,
I remember,
especially when everybody there around you is there for a creative purpose.
yeah, you can't be the weak link. And well, you asked me if I co-wrote, and this reminded me of a story like this. Is Ed Robertson from Bare Naked Ladies? I've co-wrote some stuff with him, and he came up here once. It was that same thing, and he's like, "Let's write a song." And we started working on something. And then I was like, well, when do you want to have this done by? And he's like, we're doing finishing this today. And I said, we are? And he goes, "Yeah, either that or I'm staying over. I'm not leaving till the song's done." And I was just like, oh, I wasn't prepared that we're finishing a song today. Yeah, but that was really that kind of idea. He's like, what do you mean? We both know how to write songs. Let's just
We're
get this
we're
done.
doing we're doing it today. That is amazing.
Yeah, I remember it's like, I'm staying over and I'm not leaving till it's done. So then I was like, I gotta
Better
get out
pull
of here.
out the couch.
Like when you're disciplined, and that's kind of that Russian icebreaker thing. You've taken away all your other distractions that would pull you away from writing a song. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to do that this afternoon, but for some reason, there's a million reasons I could do it tomorrow, right?
You
Right.
need a little Ed sitting on your shoulder, is what you need.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I find it like you gotta really I mean, I gotta go down a rabbit hole and really commit. So, man, that's just something I gotta start treating it like a 9 to 5 job, you know?
Now, when you were talking about heading down to Belize, I don't know if that was for vacation or if that was to do a little work down there. I know that you've got a connection to the island, that you spent some time there, and that I guess your backing band was out of there at least. I don't know if they're still there.
Yeah. So
Garfuna, if
I
I'm pronouncing that correctly. Garfuna
the
Collective.
yeah. So they're Well, they're a band. So I was going to Belize, and I go for, one reason because I like going there. And over the times I've gone there, I've started working with this little school down there. So I try to help out with that. And then all the time I've spent there, I started listening to all the music from Belize, which is very interesting music. And there's this every record I would listen to, um, I would notice on the back of the record on the credits, they were all produced by the same guy in the same studio in this little town in Belize. It's like the only studio in the country, pretty much. And so I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if I could make a record with that guy in that studio and those players? And I noticed all the players were the same guys on the records. And so I went down there and I tracked them down and I talked them into making a record with me, which was not easy because they at the beginning, I mean, they would listen to my style of music and just be like, what is, yeah, no, like they didn't get it,
Didn't figure
right?
how the two sides were going to
No.
come together.
Like they would not listen to, they would not understand Neil Young like we do, right? They would think this is
Right.
not,
Right.
this is, yeah. And so it took some coaxing and some work, and but it all came together. And then all of a sudden they started seeing, oh, this is neat, and it turned into a great record that got nominated for a Juno. And we went on, and they came to Canada and we toured the country together. And it was me and like eight Belizeans. It was wild. It was really wild.
That's pretty exciting. Also, getting an album nominated for a Juno as well. And it's funny because you said, like, did you know while you were making it that this was probably going to be a super solid album, or was it because you had to convince
Wow.
everybody that you guys don't get this? This might be never heard.
I was terrified. I was terrified the whole way. Terrified right till like when it came out. I thought, what if everyone just like laughs at me for making this record? Like, what if it's like they don't like it? And then I just thought, who cares? Like, I really don't care. The adventure is part of it. I always like to hope that too, that people have the adventurous spirit in the sense that maybe like I do have a lot of different records, and I'm totally fine if people were like, "Oh yeah, I like Danny. That one record he did, yeah, I don't like that, but I like the
Yeah,
rest," and that's fine with me. That's
sure.
cool. Like it's a completely different thing, and I have records of mine that I don't like. So yeah. So I would hope that that person would go, I don't like that one record so much, but it's cool that he did it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that's that's to me. I mean, I'll tell you, I learned so much doing that record, and I like to do those records that are outside of my comfort zone and have me scared. The one on the ship was pretty scary to do too, and the Belize one is really scary. And I find those that were the most rewarding experience is more than the ones I just recorded at my house in my studio because
Right.
there's no risk there.
For sure.
But there's a couple interesting things there too, Danny. Like the ones when you first of all, we kind of write songs, I assume, for you, and then if you're fortunate enough that other people like them, well, that's great. But you kind of have to rate them for you out of the gate, right? Because art's so subjective. The other nice thing is when you listen to Danny Michel's albums, it's not like he's plugged into a formula that gets repeated every single album. It's nice that each album has a different personality and a different flavor. So I think that speaks more to you as an artist. And then, yeah, by doing that, some people are going to be like, I don't like that last album. I mean, that's just kind of the,
I mean, and all I can say to that is like one of the artists that I grew up listening to and admiring a lot was Bowie, and
he
and
was
I
all
think
over it.
I got that from him for sure. While I think some of his records are the greatest records ever in the world, he's got lots of records I don't like. And
Right.
but I still doesn't like him. It means I think it's super cool that he did that. And oh yeah, he had
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really bad few years there, but yeah. So I mean that's the adventure. That's the adventure of being a fan of an artist and following them your whole life, and like not just listening to, oh, I like this one song. It's like that's a thing. I don't know if this new generation, I don't know if they listen to music like that. I don't know.
I like your point earlier just about being not hypercritical, but just maybe setting the bar a little higher as you get older or a better musician or a better artist. Andrew and I have talked in the past. sometimes it's really difficult for artists to get their stuff heard because now there's such a tsunami of stuff online. And
Yeah.
my theory or
Yeah.
my feeling on that is that if more people were more selective, that just because I wrote it and recorded it doesn't mean I should have it online. Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's so much crap online that the cream to get to the cream to the top doesn't happen as maybe as easily as it did before the internet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. And people don't like, you know, they don't like listen to a whole record, right? So it's like I feel like, do I even make records anymore? Like just put out a song, then put out a song, put out a
Yeah.
song. Like the the idea of that's when it was okay to have, two stinker tracks on the record. And like even you listen to a Police record, there's always some weird track 8. You're like, ugh, that they could have left
Yeah.
that off. But
Yeah.
it didn't matter because the fans, they that was the way it was, I don't know.
Well, it's
I
almost taking us back to like the 50s when it was just all about the single. And
But
even now, like gosh, with the kids and their TikTok, they don't even know like the full song. Let's not even focus on an album. They don't even know the full song. I had some friends of mine, their kid was having a party, and mom starts putting on like the full songs of everything that they like, and they're kind of like, well, what is this? Well, it's the song that you're doing all of your dances to, kid. Kind of like, "Hey, I just know this 8 seconds. That's it."
yeah. We're listening to us. Get off my lawn, but
yeah, I was gonna say this sounds a little old mannish
You
now.
know what? If
It's
we could just
like,
get them to listen to the single, that's all I'm saying. Let's get through the full song, let alone the album.
yeah. I like it when I love it when
oh,
young people discover the bands that we discovered and are obviously people older than us already knew as well, but it's always funny to see somebody, I don't know, discover Cheap Trick or CCR or Danny
yeah.
mentioned Neil Young and really get turned on by that stuff. That's pretty cool.
There's a I have some friends down the road here, and their daughter is probably uh how old should be 18, 19,
Yeah,
and she just got a record player and she's into vinyl, and all the other kids listen to whatever music, I don't know, and she's like into, like you said, Cheap Trick and and the Cars and everything. She's like, and so I've slowly started giving her my record collection
that's
because I'm like,
awesome.
because I feel like I don't really listen to it much anymore. And I'm like, Danny, am I really going to listen to this Cars record again on vinyl? I'm like, probably not. And I know it and I can always listen to it. And then I think, well, I could sell it for 25 bucks. But then I'm like, just give it to her. So every time I go over,
It's
I
gonna
take
mean
two
so much
records.
more to her.
Yeah.
And so I give her records every time I go over now. And I just give her like weird Ian Dury records and like the Specials and the Clash. And and at Christmas, she bought me an Elvis Costello 45.
That's
Oh, that's
pretty
cool.
So,
cool.
so I was so proud of her. Like, you bought an Elvis Costello record. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I just found out today. This is going to make me sound old too, but I just found out that the new albums that are being recorded are still being recorded digitally. So you're not really improving. You're not getting an analog, uncompressed sound. If you buy an old album from someone's
Yeah,
collection or you go to a flea market or something, great. If it's in decent condition, great. You now have that uncompressed sound that you're going to buy an album for. But to buy a $70 album that's brand new, it's digital anyway. So you're not getting what you think you're getting.
Between you and me, I don't think vinyl really sounds great. Like the new vinyl. I like
Right.
if I put on a brand new vinyl record uh here, it's like I'm like, okay. I put on an Elvis Presley record, like an
Yeah.
old Elvis Presley record. I cannot believe what it sounds like. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? What's the difference in the
Yeah.
plastic? In like, yeah, it's I
Or that
something has
analog
changed.
uncompressed thing. I've got one of those. I don't think he had that many albums, but I love listening to Jim Croce, and I've
Yeah.
got his old the greatest hits or whatever. I love that album, and it's not a reissue. It's like one of the original ones, and it sounds awesome. And the
Yeah, I
cracks and
put
the
on
hisses are cool too. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Like you put on an old Cat Stevens record or something, it's like, holy cow, this like it's and it's not like just it's cool sounds like it's 70s drums and stuff. It's like no
Yeah.
sonically coming off the plastic differently. Yeah, it's wild. Anyways,
So there you go. There's our
are we
ad. Don't buy new albums.
are we complaining about that now?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. While you're getting off my lawn, do not buy any new albums.
We
Danny,
should
where are
buy
you? You keep saying it down the road. People are down the road, but I look at your picture and you look like you're in the middle of Algonquin Park. Like, where the heck
I
are
am.
you?
Well, yeah, my closest neighbor is like a ways away. I live up by kind of Owen Sound area.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely snow belt up there.
Oh yeah, we have so much snow. It's unbelievable.
Have you
So
have you played the oh now I forget. Is it Hardwood?
Heartwood?
Heartwood.
Heartwood.
Thank you. Heartwood. Have you played there? I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful room. It's really nice stage. They did a really good job there. It's a nice room. It's a great size. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's a great room.
Phenomenal. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
just see it online all the time. It just looks like a great room. And Own Sound needs something like that, I think.
it's great. I mean, that's only an hour and a half from you. I know it's 2 hours probably from KW.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Not a
bad.
not a bad place though. That's great. I your name comes up every time I well not every time, but when I talk to my buddies down at Folkway and we talk
Oh,
about oh Danny's been in and cruising guitars and stuff like that. So
they
building his collection.
I think they just laugh at me because I'm like this guy who doesn't really have good guitars. I just have weird guitars. And or else I'll have a really good guitar and I want to do something insane to it. And they're like, no. But
Yeah, they are
like
like that.
yeah,
What's the last guitar that you added to the collection then?
I had them work on that. Here, let me show you. Can I get
Okay.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I bought it on I got two guitars.
Bring them both.
Oh, this is going in a good direction, Andrew.
We're gonna go downhill awful fast because this is just turning into an all guitars for the rest of the interview.
No, I'll be good. I'll try to be good.
I saw
Oh,
this
nice.
on I saw this on okay, I'm not a Strat guy,
Right.
and but now I am, and I bought this on Marketplace. Saw this.
Oh,
Oh, look
that's
at that.
sweet. I love it.
That's cool.
What
And
year is that?
It's all fake.
Is it?
It's like it's restored or something. I don't know, but it plays pretty great. And but the neck was chunky on it, so I took the Mark and Mark sanded the neck down to make it nice and thin, like I like it.
Nice
But
and fast.
yeah, but
What's
yeah,
that
but I
third pickup? It's like a they put two like so a humbucker on the
the double
bridge.
coil there,
Yeah, double coil. That looks
and
great.
Yeah, it does.
yes, it's
Nice.
great. It's out of tune right now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we
this is
can't hear
the
it
Yeah.
through anyway.
so I took this in there, and they're all like, "Oh, what's that?"
What's Danny doing this time?
Yeah, but
Hey,
you know it's funny when Mark is finished or Dave now is there as well, but when they're finished setting up a guitar properly, you know, the guitar didn't
oh
have
yeah,
to be expensive. It now plays the way it should play. So that's great.
and I bought this on Marketplace as well because I just had to have it.
Oh, good Lord.
How does it play?
It's incredible. It's
So
absolutely incredible.
how does
And
it
look,
tune, Danny?
so it tunes down here. It has
Okay.
this button
Yeah.
that you press, and it pops out, and now the bridge floats or it locks.
Okay.
It has it has two complete octaves
Wow.
between
So
the 12th fret and the neck. There's two octaves right up there to the a third high E.
Where did you even find that?
Uh, Marketplace.
It's just Marketplace.
so if somebody's not watching us on YouTube but happens just to be listening to the podcast, Danny's pulled out an incredibly contemporary looking guitar, something
Steinberger.
futuristic and crazy. It's canary yellow, but it's got a wild neck tenon in it. Like it's a long, yeah, he's right. Once, like a lot of guitars, once you get past the 12th fret, you don't have a lot of runway, but you do on that.
Oh, perfectly in tune, right? And you can set this whammy bar that How do you do this?
There's a
You flip
whammy
bar on.
bar on that thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's got a Steinberger tremolo, which is like total Steve Vai ridiculousness. And then how does this happen? There's a switch somewhere. There. Now it's open, and I
Oh,
can.
no way. Yeah, yeah.
You can go. You can drop the. If I had the bar on, you can drop it so
Yeah.
the string just go loose like this, and they go, and they pop back in tune,
And they're in tune?
and they're in tune. Yeah, because there's nowhere
Wow.
for them to go. There's nowhere for it to. Look at the top.
That's yeah.
There's
That's crazy.
Yeah, just when you think you've seen it all. So do you play that guitar? Like it's a cool do you use that guitar?
I haven't used it live yet. It'll be great in the studio for stuff because it's so perfectly intonated and like if you want to do lead stuff, it'd probably
Yeah.
be fun. I just have one. I've always had one.
Yeah.
Martin from the Statics always played one of these.
Put
Wow.
that on the next album or single, whatever it is that comes out.
I'll be like
All right.
I put out my 80s new wave album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Do you get
So
into when you're writing or recording songs, Danny, does it matter to you? Like, do you get really finicky about, okay, this is this song, it's this guitar and it's this amp, the different combinations, or do you just say, let's go in and I don't know, just record the song? That's not that big a deal to you?
no, I just like keep switching until you get the right tone, right? It's like yeah, I mean I want to have like unique instinct guitar tones. That was the one thing I learned when I recorded in Belize is they didn't want any of the guitars to sound good in the sense like, I remember I was trying to like get this really great guitar sound with like a nice amp and everything, and then they were all teasing me and calling me Eric Clapton. And they're like, "Okay, Eric Clapton." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then they, instead they would be like, plug an electric guitar out of the electric guitar right into a DI and let's record like that. And that's the hardest thing in the world to do.
Right.
And
Or to have it
if you do
sound
that,
decent.
yeah, and you got to work hard because because nothing's there to help, right? And but they recorded guitars all like that in really weird ways. And at the end, I'd be like, wow, that sounds so different because it's so different than everything we've been taught about recording,
Right.
stuff. They do it a completely different way.
So
Yeah, there's a
get rid
song
of the
on that.
good guitars and amps. That's going to be a problem.
Well, it's kind of like, isn't that what that Jack White guy does? Is he's just all about weird
Yeah.
guitars, odd tones,
Weird
and they are interesting.
guitars and just
Like the
making guitars out of
cigar
weird stuff.
box. I remember he came out with the cigar box guitar.
Yeah.
Where did I see that?
It's going to get
Uh,
loud, isn't is
yeah,
that in
I think
the
that's
Gonna
probably
Get
where it
Loud?
was. Still a great film. I got it
Yeah.
on a DVD in my
Yeah.
closet. If anybody
I'll
watches
tell you,
DVDs.
here's my writer. This is what I write everything on. And this was a guy was at the dump throwing it out at the dump, and I asked him if I could have it.
It's an old
And
Harmony?
yeah, yeah. No, it's an old the
Oh,
Silvertone.
the Silvertone. Yeah, yeah.
But like, look at the wear on the neck. Somebody played that guitar.
Hmm.
Wow. You see that in
Somebody played.
some electrics, but boy, to have that on an acoustic.
So I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
this. I don't know why. Sitting on the couch playing this as a guitar is the best guitar for me. I should just make a record with me and this guitar, but it would
There
be
you
really
go.
lo-fi.
So
That'd be
Really
can
okay
lo-fi.
though.
Yeah, maybe as long as the song is good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
people would still appreciate it.
I think some of those old Silvertones, Airlines, Harmonies, they all sort of came out of Chicago, sort of out of the same factory. But boy, those are some really great guitars.
Oh, they're really cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you can get one, I had a Stratotone that I shouldn't have sold, but it had three of the gold foil pickups on it, and boy, they sounded awesome and different. To your point, your previous point, they don't sound like a Fender or Gibson or something. So you know,
Yeah, I have a nice Harmony Rocket that I think I'm going to sell. I keep taking it into to uh to Waterloo there to drop it off to put it on consignment, and then I chicken out, but I'm going to do it. But
I like the Rockets. They're cool. Does it have a Bigsby on it?
Yeah, it's in mint. It's mint shape. It was like it had one owner. It has the original bag and the sales tags. It's like the only guitar I have this like really like it's like an old nice car. And because of that, I don't play it much because I don't want to mess with it. But then I like there's nothing worse than having a guitar not get played.
That's
So
true.
I just somebody else should have that guitar and enjoy it and use
Boy,
it.
you can call me when you want to sell it, but I'm going to recommend you hang on to it, Danny. That's a cool guitar, man. Just play it.
I can show it to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
bring it. I
But
was
just
just about
just
to ask,
just play
actually.
that. Just play it. I remember having a conversation with when we talk about Mark, we're talking about Mark Stutman of Folkway Music, but I remember talking to him one time and at one of my old amps. Like they change in value all the time. And he said, you
Yeah.
know what that, you bought that from me years and years ago. You know what that's worth now, right? And I said, holy crap, should I even be taking this out gigging? He goes, why wouldn't you? Like all this stuff was meant to be played, right?
Yeah,
So
Like, look at that, though.
wow,
it's
that's
mint.
beaut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is nice. That is really nice.
Oh, it's in gorgeous, gorgeous shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
Danny, you
think
should
there's
hang on to that, buddy.
a scratch right there. That's the only thing wrong with it.
That's
Nothing
now
wrong
it's
with that.
now it's
You know
worth
what?
500 bucks.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I said now
worth
it's worth
500
500
bucks.
bucks.
You know what?
You
You
should hang on to
probably just
that.
throw that out. I'll come down and pick it up from you, and I'll just get rid of it for you. Take it to the dump.
Yeah. No, you should hang on to that, Danny.
That is such
I
a
haven't played it
sweet
in a
piece.
I haven't played it in a decade. It should go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, if you're not playing it, that's understandable. That is a nice looking instrument.
I got a whole bunch of guitars in the other room. Got like this. Lots of these
And you've got
weirdos.
a nice
Yeah.
home studio, don't you? I've seen pictures. It like you've got a perfect writing space, if you will. Um,
No, it's a nice. I bought the house because of this room. There's like a little room off the side that was an addition that's all windows over the forest and stuff. And I walked in. I'm like, I'll buy the whole house because of this room. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, no,
was.
that's cool. Oh, that's what inspires you, right? Just you're outside and you're still inside.
Yeah,
It's a nice little
yeah,
collection, Danny. It's pretty cool.
I know. We've seen some great guitars.
We did. We
Um,
did. So, Danny, when you go out on tour, what guitar or is there a limit to the guitars you take out?
no, I take just one guitar, and it's not a very good guitar. It's my big red. It's an Epiphone Casino, and it's not an old one. It's like a '90s one that I just play a lot. And there's guitars everywhere now. You made me realize I need to get rid of some guitars.
Oh,
That harmony's
I'm
gonna.
not sure that was my intent. I don't try to talk people into getting rid of guitars. I try to tell you go buy some more.
No, I'm at this point where it's like I would really like to have three. Just three
okay.
that I play.
Yeah.
Um, that harmony should. I'll take that into Folkways soon.
We could have a
Well,
conversation about that off the air. I think.
well,
Yeah,
Lance is ready to make a deal now,
Yeah, that's they don't that's a pretty nice guitar. I recommend you hang on to it though. I think you'd regret it. Although I do agree, any like the guitars, I don't have a lot of guitars. I have a few guitars, but I play them all.
yeah, like I have
Um,
about a dozen, and I play three of them. And to me, they're like it's like having a nice old car and leaving it in a barn and
yeah.
never driving. It's
Yep.
it's it's really bad for it. Like you pick them up and you're like that. Like if I pick up those old ones, like I have to go get them set up and take an afternoon of playing them just to get them to wake up again. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
you're
I
a bit
was
of a
saying that
car guy as well, too, aren't you? Like there are these rumors that continue to float around KW about you driving around the city and I think it was like a Cadillac hearse or something.
yeah, I had a hearse.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a hearse. What
where
possesses
are
a
you
man to
hearing
buy a
these rumors,
hearse?
Andrew?
What possesses a man to buy a hearse?
I had a hearse, and I think I just bought a Cadillac off some people down the road. It's in storage, so in spring I have to decide. But I have a few little
What
old,
type of Cadillac are you looking at?
it's an Eldorado.
Oh, nice.
Hmm. That'd be a welcome addition to your driveway.
To the fleet. But see, I think again, it's like guitars. It's like, yeah, it's time. I don't know. It's someone else should have these guitars. There's nothing better than, or I should just give them to people and go here, go on tour and play this guitar. Go play this guitar and just because it's better than it's sitting here. So
That'd be cool if you got some fun friends, some buddies that you know that are going out and can just, hey, try this out, see what you think of it.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe they'll find a new home. Very cool. Listen, I hear you've got other hobbies as well too. And so I'm not going to ask you what the hobby is. I'm just going to tell you, I understand that you're a bit of a train fanatic.
Uh, no, everybody
No.
no, everyone
What's-
confuses that with I'm into when we were kids, remember there was the AFX slot cars, the little
Yeah.
electric cars you
Yeah.
drive with the
Okay.
control and they run on the rails. So yeah, I collect that
You were
stuff.
slot car. Okay.
Yeah, I have a big track of that stuff, and I have like the whole 70s Aurora collection pretty much. And I need to sell guitars to buy more slot cars.
Now we understand. It's all coming together. It's all about the
Everybody's
slot cars now.
yeah,
So
everybody's got their thing.
yeah, well, my track has its own Instagram account, so you can watch the track. It's all there. Yeah,
Oh, that's fantastic.
and the video of Ghost Town. There's a video of Ghost Town that's filmed all in miniature in the track. So and mine's like done with like entire little city and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
pretty
neat.
wicked. Yeah, I'm gonna go follow that.
So that does that have a like everything else? It's kind of a niche thing, and you have connections through social media, guys buying cars, trading cars, all that sort of thing, Danny.
I'm in a club with some guys, yeah, and we race in over by Kincardine and another place around here, and it's pretty serious.
And
Guy, one
see
of the
now,
guys.
there's the epitome of the Canadian rock star, ladies and gentlemen.
But I think that's cool though. Like, I mean, it isn't music 24/7. It isn't about going out and making that next dime or nickel or penny in some cases. We all have hobbies. And
I
it's
have
nice
lots of
to,
hobbies, and I think I'm at this point where I don't want my life to be music. I want music to just be a part of my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some good
so
balance.
yeah, and so yeah, and so I collect that stuff, and it's pretty nerdy. If you're looking for it on Instagram, it's Danlandia Gardens Race Speedway. Danlandia Gardens Speedway, I think.
I'm definitely going to check that out. I think this sounds so cool.
And then there's videos of like there's people here like Joel Plaskett and other musician friends who come over and race and stuff. So there's funny videos there.
Oh, that's very cool. Joel's from out east, right? Or down east? Yeah, yeah. That's very cool. So, Dan, I'm not sure if you've ever listened to this amazing podcast of ours. However, if you haven't, at the end of our podcast, we always do what we call a lightning round. It is an incredibly unscientific way to get to know you. So we're going to ask you quick questions, and you just have to blurt out the answer. And it's not like anything you have to study for. It's like shoes or boots, and you'll say,
Okay, it's not like geography and math questions where I'm
"Oh God, no,
No.
no, 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 no." You're
We'd
see,
actually have to know how to put a formula together first before we can do
yeah,
that.
you've
That's not
mistaken
gonna
us.
that's not gonna happen.
No,
Not on
you've
this show.
mistaken us for well-rounded human beings. No, so it's just shoes or boots. You'd pick one, and at the end of the usually 9 or 10 questions, we have a rough idea, a little bit more about Danny Michel. So Andrew runs this, so he's really good at it. Here you go.
Okay.
okay.
Studio recording or live performance?
Studio recording.
Okay. Canadian winter or summer?
Summer.
Big festival stage versus intimate club?
Intimate club.
Home recording or professional studio?
Home recording.
Yeah, so many people are going to home recording now. It's nice. Protest song or summer anthem?
Protest song.
Epiphone or Gibson?
Well, I want to say Gibson, but my main guitar is Epiphone, so I'll go Epiphone.
Nice. East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Dylan or Springsteen?
Dylan.
Solo show or collaborative?
Solo.
And that has been another episode of Backstage Lowdown.
All right.
Danny, thanks for hanging with us today. This has been fun.
We've
Thank
all
you.
survived.
I'm Jeff Woods, and I'm shining a light on music and the rock stars who make it.
He just was one of those people, he stood out.
He was a magic guy. He really was a magic guy. We all have faults. He had the same amount of faults as we all had.
This was before Led Zeppelin. Robert was full on. I mean, he was Led Zeppelin without the band behind him. He had the hair, the jeans, the whole thing, you know, and he was amazing.
The Records and Rockstars podcast, heard around the world and yours to hear wherever you get podcasts. All the episodes from jeffwoodsradio.com.
Come on, let's go to the Blue Hotel. I wanna live at the Blue Hotel.
The podcast that goes everywhere the imagination dares. It's for the open-minded, the pleasure seeker. It's Jeff Woods with the new podcast about relationships and sexuality, theme-based with special guests, the Blue Hotel Hotline, and every episode climaxes with an adult bedtime story. Get a room and listen in at the Blue Hotel. Begins Friday, September 23rd.